Okay, hi there. I'm going to prepare this chicken for tomorrow's supper. And I'm going to make it into a roadkill chicken, which means I'm going to debone it without cutting it up. And I don't do this a lot, so sometimes I really don't exactly know where to start. But I'll cut some of this fat off here, because that'll only make things burn. Oh. Ben has heard somebody out there. So now what? I think I'll break its back. Start working my way up in here. Getting the skin loose. Anyway, this will be a long drawn out process. Now I got sticky chicken fingers. I'll stop. So I'm in the back now, and I'm just working my fingers in between the backbone and the back. I got a piece of bone here, a piece of bone here. I'll break the joint here. And break the bone here. It's almost already done. There we go. And I've broken the back, so I should be able to get this out here. So just getting some of the backbones out of here. You use your fingers to run along the meat, in between the meat and the bones. And the skin, making sure you try to leave as much meat in the chicken while removing as much bone. Get to some place where you need to use your knife. That's okay. Cut it like this. Cut it down. And there's our first bit of the backbone removed. Now let's go for the drumsticks. All you do is you pull them through. You take your knife and you scrape it down. Scrape, 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 scrape. Scrape, scrape. Scrape, 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 scrape. The more you scrape, the more meat you leave. And that's the idea. Pull it down. You get to this point here, you can use your knife in between that joint and cut out that bone. Of course, we'll be saving these bones for something. Now to get the next one started, use our knife. Get it around. Use your fingers to get in between the meat and the bone. Carefully slide your knife in there. Start cutting it. Again, you'll have to cut and then scrape the meat down. The sharper the knife, the better, of course, and the safer. Oh. Pull it out. And then you can just pull that bottom bone right out. You may end up with these little bits of chicken, but you can just stuff them back in. So I'm going to do the other leg. And then so once you're through with the leg, you kind of tuck anything back in. And oh, a little bit of gristle here. You feel that. You want to cut it out, because it'll probably never get tender. these tendon things though, that they'll get tender enough that you won't even notice them. So there. We'll just poke his leg out there, and there's more or less the bottom half of him done. I'll go on to the top part. And I think what I'll do is work out the old backbone here. Sliding up with my fingers to this poor bird. Ripping and tearing. Again, trying to keep as much meat on the bird and just take the bones out. And a little section there. Run your thumbs down like that. Trying to separate meat from the bone. Now this meat might end up being on its own down there, but it's kind of okay. And you can just use your thumbs and fingers. You pull out the top part of the rib cage, or the backbone and the neck. So then you kind of get your bearings. You can cut off this, the tail, Pope's nose or whatever, because they're just mostly fat. So we'll skip around like that. I'll try to get the front bones off now. Take your knife, make a few little slits. Get in there. Work your fingers through. Work your fingers through. Oh, come this side. Work your finger down. Of course, that's where the chicken tenders are, right there, so you don't want to mess that up too much. Chicken tenders, chicken fingers, whatever, the tenderloins, blah blah blah. Oh. Little cut here, cut here. A piece of chicken. Oh. So, come down both sides, break the wing bone, come down this side. Dislocate the wing bone. So, a little bit of knife here. Important to have a sharp knife, but then again, it's important to be safe because your fingers are all involved in the whole ordeal. What, Dave? You want some chicken? And a little bit of tendons holding that on. So that's kind of like the breastbone gone. And you get left with the chicken wings. And the shoulder bones. Again, use your fingers and your knife. Scrape the meat down. Just keep scraping it down, trying to get as much meat off the bone as possible. What do you want, Dave? Want you, baby? Oh, look at that big piece of chicken there, but it'll go up back. You just gotta put it back in the thing after you're finished. Okay, so you can get rid of this that shoulder bone there. And now I'll try to get rid of this next wing bone. Work your knife in. Put it away. cut away and scrape. That's where it gets kind of difficult on the wings. They're not as easy as the legs. But just keep cutting carefully and scraping away. Scrape all the meat down. Cut. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Scrape, 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 scrape. Now what have we got left? Oh. Oops. And that's about as best it can do. Try to get any more of that from this lower thing there, that it's not very worth it. But you got a wing that you can cook along with it. Okay, so that part's done. I'll do the other wing. Shoulder, I guess, starting at the shoulder. Through these bones. Again, you'll have pieces that'll fall off, but that's alright. When you go to cook it, you can just slip it back in. Okay. More scraping here and cutting. There we go. What do we got left? Well, we'll do this last little piece here. Can't be squeamish if you're going to do this. You got your hands deep in the bowels of the chicken, kind of thing. Well, not really. The bowels of it all removed. Cut, scrape. Cut, scrape. I guess the most important thing is not to be in a hurry. That didn't feel good, but I don't think I'm cut. Scrape her all down. Scrape, cut. Good, 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 good. And pull the rest of the wing through. There you got that little nibble of the wing. You can remove this off. Okay. And now you check for any kinds of cartilage or anything like that that may be left over. There's a little piece here from the breastbone thing, I think. Get rid of that. Oops. Well, we'll find that in spring. Oh, with a couple of wings here. Oh, I think that's the part of the wishbone. And lo and behold, here's the other part of the wishbone. Make a wish, Ben. Okay. Now, let's get something. Oh, there's a little bit more gristle here. So we'll cut that out. Come on there, you. There. Beep. Okay, now we'll turn everything back the way it was supposed to be. I'll get the little things like this and there. And I cut off more than I usually do with the arms, but usually the arms are back there like that. And there you have it, a deboned chicken. Like I say, these extra pieces can just be shoved in there like that. In there. And I call it roadkill chicken because it looks like it's been run over. It's flat. You can do the same thing without cutting the bones off. Just cut the backbone off and flatten it out. But this gives you a big piece of chicken that's totally edible. Get back in there. Prop this little guy up. Now, I'm not going to stop there though. I'm going to do what's called brining. And I'm going to put this in water, with salt and sugar. Leave it sit overnight. And it's going to make it a lot more moisture. And then when it comes out of that, I'm going to put some spices and stuff inside. Maybe some fried fried onions, garlic. I think from prosciutto ham. Maybe some sliced mushrooms. And then we're going to cook it on the barbecue. And you want to do it low and slow. Because you want to make sure you don't burn the outside before you cook the inside. So, I don't know how long this took me to do. I might be able to tell here from the counter. Oh, looks like about 13 minutes or so. 13, 14, 15 minutes. So that's the final product. And once you get it on the barbecue where it's all roasted up, golden brown and nothing like that. And to do it properly, you get crunchy skin too. But anyway, into a container with salt and sugar overnight and probably some pepper. Maybe some other spices, I don't know. And then we'll turn you back on tomorrow once we get to the next portion. So thanks for dropping by. Hi, we're back. It's the next day. I'm getting the roadkill chicken ready for the grilling. So I made a kind of a stuff in here. And in here is parsley, lime zest, prosciutto ham, and feta cheese. And that's it. I'm not going to add any salt because the feta cheese is salty, the prosciutto is salty, plus it should be well seasoned from its last night in the salty sugary water. So you just gotta go with your gut, I guess. So now, the best way to do this is by hand. And grab some. Proceed to stuff it up inside the chicken. All the way up there, all the way down there with it. And it's going to make a mess, but who cares, you know. Got to get some down in the legs. Some down this leg. Some more around there. By now I'm hauling out as much as I'm putting in, I think. So that is simply that. So I'm going to wash off my hands, just rinse them off. Because I'm going to be handling the chicken again. I think I'll take this plate. A couple of sheets of paper towel. And transfer old chicken man here to there. Paper towel will help soak up a little bit of the stuff. Pat them down. Got some extra stuff in here. And you may notice I also didn't add any pepper because there was lots of pepper in the brine last night and lots of hot sauce and stuff like that. So again, it should be fairly well seasoned. So 2 more pieces of paper towel. Put that on top. And then we'll tuck this into the fridge until we're ready to cook it. Have to do some dishwashing here. So that's the second part, and you can stuff your roadkill chicken with anything. Cheddar cheese and beef, onions, garlic. I even stuffed one once with lobster. Just barely cooked lobster so I can get out of the shell. And the best one I had I think was cilantro and lime, and I think that was about it. Cilantro, lime, and garlic, I think, and it really made the chicken taste good. So that's what I'm looking for today. But I added in the feta cheese just for another little bit of a flavor sensation. And yeah, so that's it. So I'm just going to clean up here. And then tomorrow, or later on today, probably around 4 or 5, we'll heat the grill up and carry on with the next one. So that's in the next video. So thanks for keeping by, and we'll talk to you in a bit.
What happened was...
Hey, so the next phase of the chicken is put it on the barbecue. And you can see here, I got potatoes over here and potatoes over there. This box has yellow beans, and this one has mushrooms and onions, or vice versa. And up on top here is the actual roadkill chicken. I oiled the grates really well, and I oiled the chicken really well. And now the idea is, do not touch that thing.
Do not.
Shut up. Until it's ready to turn. Maybe you don't have to turn it, but if you turn too fast, you'll rip the skin out. So you gotta let it sit up there. The middle burner's down to low, this one's down to medium, and this one's down to medium. So it's going to take a little while to cook the potatoes and everything like that. So hopefully the chicken will cook it in the same amount of time as everything else. And you can take that to the bank. I wouldn't try to cash a check out of it, but you can take it to the bank. Stay tuned.